Hello all, and welcome back to Time to Dice, where we make your favorite fictional characters in Pathfinder 2nd Edition. Happy 4th of July to our American viewers. To celebrate American Independence Day, we're launching a Month of Murica by recreating all the Marvel heroes who've donned the mantle of Captain America over the years, starting with the legend himself, Steve Rodgers. Steve wanted to be an American soldier, but they kept giving him the cold shoulder on account of he looked like he would snap if hit by a particularly strong wind. So he took to getting stronger the American way, by taking a load of untested performance enhancers. This super soldier serum turned Steve Rodgers into Captain America, increasing his strength, speed, and durability to peak human levels. We are mainly going to be focusing on the Captain America from the MCU, mostly because he is the one in the public mind at the moment. So without further ado, beware of spoilers, shields up, and let's get started. Steve is the quintessential all-American hero, and if there's one thing I know about America, is that they don't always embrace the unfamiliar. So, our hands are tied. We've got to go human. Humans in Pathfinder 2nd Edition get 8 hit points, a boost to strength and dexterity, and a 25-foot movement speed. We also get the Winter Touch heritage, granting us a cold resistance equal to half your level. Cap is used to long ice baths after all. When Steve first emerged from the Super Soldier Serum experiment, brimming with newfound power, the American government took one look at him and knew exactly where to put him. On a stage, selling war bonds. Not the choice I would have made, but hey, what do I know? For our build, we'll go with the entertainer background. This background gives us a boost to charisma and strength, training in performance and theater lore skills, and the fascinating performance skill feat to draw attention to us and away from our allies. Steve knows how to hold a crowd's attention, whether it's on the battlefield or on stage. Alright, let's dive into what this build needs to truly embody Steve Rodgers. First off, we need what I will henceforth call the Captain America power set. This means we need to be really strong, but not the strongest, really fast, but not the fastest, and really tough, but not the toughest. And of course, we need to be able to throw an indestructible shield around as a weapon. However, beyond being a super soldier, each Captain America brings something unique to the table. Steve Rodgers is an excellent leader, often coordinating Avengers in the battlefield. He is also a beacon of hope, a light in the dark, giving others something to look to and inspiring them to be as brave as him. This build will need to reflect all these aspects to truly capture the essence of Captain America. The class that fits Steve Rodgers best is definitely Fighter. Some might argue for Champion, but with Champion you'd have to find a way to reflavor the more magical abilities to fit Steve's style. As a fighter, we start off expert in perception. After all, Steve needs to keep a cool head in the battlefield to lead his team to victory. We also become expert in fortitude and reflex saves, but are only trained in will saves. For our skills, we pick up athletics and 3+ our intelligence modifier and additional skills of our choice. Finally, we end up expert in any simple or martial weapon and trained in all armor. This setup perfectly suits a super soldier who's always on the front line, leading by example, throwing his physics-bending shield with deadly precision. Moving on to ability scores, or should I say attributes? Seriously, when was someone going to tell me that they changed the terminology in the remaster? I've been looking foolish all this time. Come on guys, keep me in the loop. Strength is our primary attribute, ensuring Steve Rodgers can throw powerful punches and wield his iconic shield with knockout force. Next, we have Dexterity and Charisma, tied for second, reflecting Steve's agility in combat and his inspiring presence respectively. And Constitution rounds out our positive scores, granting Steve Rodgers the endurance to withstand grueling battles. Steve Rodgers isn't dumb, he just typically relies on physical prowess, charisma, and leadership, rather than academics or hunches. Besides, these stats help the build work best, and you want the build to work, don't you? Moving on to skills, by the end of this build, we'll achieve legendary proficiency in athletics for Steve's physical prowess and diplomacy for his exemplary leadership. We won't reach master proficiency in any skills, but we'll be experts in medicine, reflecting Steve's knowledge of first aid, and society, showcasing his understanding of history. After all, he lived through it. We also pick up training in acrobatics, enhancing Steve's agility and combat finesse, and theater lore and performance, honing in on skills as entertainer and captivating audiences. The war bond thing, remember? Alright, at level 1, all fighters gain Reactive Strike and Shield Block. Reactive Strike allows us to use a reaction to strike foes who move through our reach, or perform a manipulation action, while Shield Block lets us use a reaction to reduce incoming damage by our shield's hardness when we're hit by an attack. These abilities are crucial for Steve Rodgers, enhancing his defensive capabilities and allowing him to counterattack swiftly in combat. In addition, we also gain an Ancestry feat and a class feat. Choosing General Training as our Ancestry feat grants us toughness, increasing our hit points by our level. This enhancement reflects Steve Rodgers' durability and resilience as a super soldier, making him even tougher to take down in battle. For our class feat at level 1, we'll choose Reactive Shield, allowing us to raise our shield and gain its bonus to AC as a reaction, rather than using an action on our turn. It's important to note that we only have one reaction per turn, so we'll need to decide between using Shield Block, Reactive Strike, or Reactive Shield. A tough decision indeed, but crucial for Steve Rodgers' tactical flexibility in combat. At level 2, we gain the ability to break physics with Rebounding Toss. When we throw our shield and hit an opponent, assuming we're using Meteor Shield with a shield boss attached for this build, we can make an additional strike against another target within 10 feet of the original target, all at the same multiple attack penalty. However, since we don't have a way to retrieve the shield yet, we should be cautious about tossing around that priceless Vibranium Frisbee too freely. At level 3, we have the option to take the Die Hard General feat, which increases our resilience by allowing us to reach dying 5 instead of dying 4. And, if you prefer not to dwell on the possibility of dying, we also get Bravery. This boosts our will saves to Expert and turns our successes against fear effects into critical successes. Additionally, whenever we would gain the Frightened condition, we reduce its value by 1, showcasing Steve Rodgers' unwavering courage and mental fortitude. At level 4, we can extend our bravery to others with the Martial Dedication class feat. This grants us a 10-foot aura where allies gain a +1 status bonus on saves against fear effects. At level 5, we reach Master Proficiency with shields, enhancing our defense and versatility in combat. Additionally, our Ancestry feat, Clever Improviser, allows us to add half our levels to skills in which we are untrained. Perfect for when Iron Man sends us to see what's wrong with the helicarrier circuits. At level 7, Ricochet Stance allows us to recall our shield after a thrown strike, returning it to our hand if we're within the first range increment. This means as long as we are in a Ricochet Stance, we effectively have a reach increment of 30 feet with no downside. At level 7, we gain 3 abilities. The Fleet General feat adds 5 feet to our movement, reflecting Steve Rodgers' enhanced agility. Battlefield Surveyor gives us a +2 bonus to perception checks for initiative, ensuring we are always quick to react in the battle. And Weapon Specialization boosts all our strike damage based on our proficiency, making each attack even more impactful. At level 8, we gain Quick Shield Block, granting us an additional reaction each round specifically for shield blocking. This ability allows us to better defend against multiple attacks, reflecting Steve's expert skill with his shield and protecting himself and others. At level 9, we use our Ancestry feat to pick up the Everstand stance. While in this stance, we hold our shield with 2 hands, increasing our damage dice to a d8, and boosting the shield's hardness by 2, allowing it to absorb more damage. The downside is that we can't be in Everstand stance and Ricochet stance at the same time, so we must choose between increased melee damage and the ability to effectively throw our shield for greater range. We also gain the Battle Hardened feature, which increases our Fortitude saves to Master and counts successful Fortitude saves as critical successes, reflecting Captain America's exceptional resilience and ability to withstand physical challenges. Lastly, we use the Combat Flexibility to pick up the Resounding Bravery feat. Whenever we succeed at a will save against fear, we gain a +1 status bonus to all our saves, and temporary hit points equal to half our level for a minute. If we critically succeed on the initial will save, these bonuses are doubled. At level 10, we gain a method of more effectively leading our allies with the Battle feat. This lets us spend an action to allow an ally within our Marshal's aura to use their reaction to stride, or if we use 2 actions, they can instead use their action to strike. Perfect for one-liners. Hulk Smash! At level 11, we pick up Armor Expertise and Fighter's Expertise, boosting both our Armor Proficiency and Fighter Class DC to Expert. Nothing much to add here, moving on. Level 12 gives us Paragon's Guard, another stance feat that allows us to constantly have our shield raised while in the stance, freeing up our actions and reactions for other things. This fits Cap perfectly, but it means that we now have 3 stances vying for our attention at any time. At level 13, we get Master Proficiency with all simple and martial weapons, as well as Legendary Proficiency with shields. What? That's not good enough for you? Well, how about Bounce Back, allowing us to get back up from consciousness once per day without increasing our wounded value. Level 14 eliminates the action tax of getting into our stances with the Opening Stance feat, allowing us to enter the stance whenever we roll initiative. Now if we could just pick which stance we need. At level 15, we get quite a bit. Canny Acumen boosts our will saves to Master. Improved Flexibility lets us pick up Determination, ignoring 1 non-permanent condition we are afflicted with. Greater Weapon Specialization increases our damage again, and Tempered Reflex is Battle Hardened, but for our reflex saves. At level 16, we always lead from the front with Coordinated Charge. This allows us to stride and then make a melee strike. If our strike hits and deals damage to an enemy, which we are a fighter, it will. All allies within 60 feet who saw our strike can immediately use their reaction to stride, as long as they end up closer to the enemy we hit than they were before. At level 17, Heroic Presence lets us give up to 10 allies within 30 feet, 12 temporary hit points, and a +2 status bonus against will saves. We all get Master Armor Proficiency. At level 18, we can give our ally a pep talk, pushing them to hang on just a little longer with Still Yourself, letting us grant an ally within our Marshal's aura temporary hit points equal to your Charisma and a +1 bonus to Fortitude save. At level 19, we gain Versatile Legend, granting us Legendary Proficiency in all simple martial weapons. This makes Steve Rodgers a master of combat, capable of wielding any weapon with exceptional skill. Additionally, we obtain a fast recovery general feat, which doubles the hit points we gain from resting and reduces the number of successes needed to overcome poisons and diseases. This further enhances Steve's legendary endurance and resilience, ensuring he can quickly recover from any setback. Finally, at level 20, we cap off the build with Boundless Reprisals class feat. This grants us an additional reaction at the beginning of each foe's turn, which we can use for any reaction we've gained from a fighter feat or class feature, showcasing Steve's unparalleled combat readiness and tactile superiority, allowing us to respond to multiple threats with swift and decisive actions. Now let's look at skill feats. And my word, that's a lot of athletic skill feats. Cloud Jump, Powerful Leap, Quick Jump, and Wall Jump lets us keep up in a world where Spider-Man exists. Hefty Holler lets us curl a helicopter. Quick Climber and Combat Climber lets us operate on a vertical battlefield. Quick Swim represents our peak physical form. But not all of our skill feats are athletics. Legendary Negotiation assures that even when we are more than ready to fight, we remain open to a more peaceful solution. Now that we've finished the build, let's dive into the pros and cons. Pros. Number 1, versatility in combat. With legendary proficiency in all simple and martial weapons, we can effectively wield a variety of weapons, adapting to any combat situation. Number 2, exceptional defense. The combination Quick Shield Block and Everstand Stance ensures superior defensive capabilities, making Steve a tough target. And number 3, leadership and support. The martial dedication and 2 battle feats allows us to lead and support his allies effectively, boosting their morale and coordinating their actions, especially when combined with feats like toughness and die hard for maximum resiliency. Now for the cons. Number 1, limited magical abilities. Unlike some classes, this build lacks magical abilities, which could limit versatility in dealing with magical threats or solving certain challenges. Number 2, reaction management. With multiple abilities relying on reactions, reactive shield, shield block, and reactive strike, we will need to manage our reactions carefully to maximize effectiveness. And number 3, trade-offs between stances. The need to choose between Everstand Stance, Ricochet Stance, and Paragon's Guard means we must balance between increased melee damage and the ability to throw a shield effectively. Overall, this build emphasizes physical prowess, leadership, and resilience, perfectly capturing the essence of Captain America. Thank you so much for watching this video, and make sure you like and subscribe, and be sure to comment below the characters that you want to see. And be sure to stay tuned for the rest of Month of Murica.